The time I went in to the time I left, it was 4.5 hours, so it is a long time waiting, but the service, I did, it's free, so it's hard to complain. My wife went earlier this week and...
Meu, gostei disso. Gostei do que ele falou. Só por ser grátis já compensa o atraso. Tipo, não tem do que reclamar. É grátis, quer reclamar o quê? E aí, pessoal, como é que vocês estão? Tá começando mais um vídeo. E, gente, hoje vamos ver aqui mais um gringo nos contando da sua experiência aqui no hospital público brasileiro. Então, vamos ouvir aqui a história desse gringo. Se vocês gostarem do vídeo, já sabem, deixa o like, se inscrevam no canal, ativem o sininho das notificações para receber todos os nossos próximos vídeos e fazer parte dessa incrível família. Vamos a isso.
Alright, so in this video, I'm going to go over my experience with public health here in Brazil and all of the things that are important to know. I'm going to try and make this video straight to the point. Yesterday, I had to go to the hospital for the first time. I've actually used the public health care system here. I mentioned it in another video. I had to get a tetanus shot after I had a screw go into my leg, a rusty screw, and it was very easy. I think it took about 45 minutes.
Deve ter ido apanhar uma vacina para tétano, né? Porque quando você, por exemplo, sofre alguma lesão com algum metal enferrujado, com certeza há risco maior de apanhar tétano.
Yesterday was the first time I went to the actual hospital because I had rhinitis. I got diagnosed. I've had it for, I think, a month and a half. Just had a runny nose, and it was time I decided to go. So anyway, I went to the hospital at 1:30 yesterday. It's called UPA, which stands for Unidade de Pronto Atendimento. So,
meu, o sotaque dos gringos falando português é muito bom, mano.
That just means like fast care. And that's the only thing I wouldn't have considered that fast yesterday. So anyway, when you go there, you're gonna have to take your SUS card, and I will leave a link in the description on how to get your SUS card. I actually got mine back in Saquarema when the day that I got my tetanus shot. I applied for it, and yeah, so I'm good to go there. It's not hard. Obviously, you're going to take your RNM, which is your identification card that shows that you live here in Brazil. I can't speak for those who don't have this because I don't know how that works. So this is just for somebody who has their residency or their identification card here in Brazil with their SUS. So maybe you would still be covered. I'm just going over this. So first of all, you go directly up to the receptionist at the counter, tell them what you have, and then you wait. And this is at the public healthcare system, remember. So it's not going to be, there's going to be lots of people there, like in this picture.
Eu acho que também, por exemplo, a primeira vez que a gente foi a um hospital público, a gente não tinha ainda o RNE, como ele mencionou aqui, né? A gente fez com o passaporte mesmo. Com o passaporte eles também aceitaram. Eu acho que é por isso que eles até aceitam estrangeiros, porque você pode até fazer com passaporte.
Picture here, you can see there was probably 25 to 35 people waiting in front of me because there was a nice place to wait outside. And so I waited 1 hour exactly from the time that I went to the receptionist to the time that I got seen by the first doctor who does like an initial assessment. So they ask you your symptoms when you go to the desk, and then you go wait, and then your name is called, like here. You can see my name on the screen. They say it over the speaker. And then I went to see the doctor. She asked me the same questions about my symptoms, and then they diagnose you under your classificação de risco, so your risk classification, which got a green band, which means that I'm not at risk of anything. There were people going in there had broken feet and really bad illnesses, and mine was not considered.
Sabe uma coisa que eu nunca tinha comentado bastante, essa questão de classificação de risco, mano. Eu acho que é a primeira vez que eu vi isso. É aqui no Brasil, a questão de classificação. Você vai lá, faz uma classificação e eles te dão aquela pulseira verde. E acho que são 4. Verde, amarelo, laranja e vermelho. Vermelho quer dizer que, meu Deus, você está realmente correndo um risco muito grande. Eu acho que é uma das primeiras pessoas a ser atendida, porque tem prioridade as pessoas com com risco muito alto, assim. Então, achei essa ideia maravilhosa, mano. Eu acho que nos outros países, como Moçambique, por exemplo, não tem isso, mano. Não tem essa classificação de risco.
I wasn't not that bad. After that, she also told me that it could take up to 4 hours. So that was at 2:30. So I waited, and thank God the area was outside. It was nice. It was like 70 degrees and windy, so it was perfect. Well, it actually wasn't that bad, but we did wait until just a little after 6 before I got called in again. And so this time I went to the doctor who determines what's wrong with me ultimately. So he does this. He was direct and straight to the point. Asked me, just so you know, you'll need to be able to speak Portuguese unless you guys are in an area where the doctors speak English. I took my sister-in-law with me because I would...
Tipo, não é requisito assim que o médico saiba falar inglês para ser contratado pelo governo brasileiro, né, para poder trabalhar em hospitais em si públicos, tipo o SUS, por exemplo, quer dizer, tipo as unidades de pronto atendimento, os hospitais aqui brasileiros, não é tipo um requisito para os médicos, tipo saber falar inglês. Se você encontrar um médico que saiba falar inglês, encontrou também, mas não é que aqui, quer dizer, os brasileiros falam português, então não seria tipo, para você ser médico no SUS, você tem que falar inglês. Não é, acho que não é requisito.
I was kind of nervous about if they asked me questions about my symptoms that I couldn't describe. So I knew how to say what I had, the pain behind my eye. I knew how to say I had a runny nose and how long it was lasting and when it happened and things like this. My Portuguese, I can have conversations. I just didn't know how specific they would get. So if you're not very comfortable speaking Portuguese, I would definitely have a translation app open or take someone with you that does speak Portuguese. Even though it sucks for them to wait with you, the last thing you want is to misdiagnose yourself and then the doctor doesn't know how to treat your illness. So
eu acho que ir no tradutor seria mais fácil de compreender. É como ele falou, tem algumas palavras específicas assim no mundo da saúde que realmente para uma pessoa muito iniciante nessa questão de português, né, falar uma outra língua pode ser meio difícil, algumas palavras complexas aí. Então indo no tradutor pode facilitar, ir na Google, por exemplo.
He just straight up said was "Que houve?" And I told him what happened, which just means what happened, and I told him how long it had been happening for. And I was able to describe my symptoms, and then he just did a test to check my heart, my back, you know, the typical. He had a stethoscope, and then I forgot to mention that they take your blood pressure and your pulse and stuff in the initial class where they classify your illness. And so he just did the stethoscope, asked me my illnesses, and then I think it was pretty easy. I'd looked it up online too. So he just said, "Henidas." And then he prescribed a few different things, an antibiotic and all of these things, which one of the coolest things is that all of these things, if they're available, are free. You get them at the place, at the hospital, the UPA, or if they're not there, you can go to another posto de saúde, which is like a doctor's office, which is different. I was at the hospital, and this is they have them at the doctor's office where you have to schedule an appointment. So I needed the antibiotic. I was ready, so I went and bought that at a pharmacy on my own. But all of the other medicine we can get at the Posto de Saúde. Anyway, from the time I went in to the time I left, it was 4.5 hours. So it is a long time waiting, but the service I did, you know, it's free, so it's hard to complain. My wife went earlier this week and...
Meu, gostei disso. Gostei do que ele falou. Só por ser grátis já compensa o atraso. Tipo, não tem do que reclamar. É grátis, quer reclamar o quê? Se é grátis, mano. Gostei disso.
My daughter, and it was... The wait time is generally the same. I know there's this sickness going on in our house right now. So I just wanted to make a short and quick video for you guys about everything that I think you should know about going to the hospital here. I haven't been to the Posto de Saúde myself. I've been with my wife and I've been with my daughter. So I've seen how it works. I just wanted to go over what it's like if you need to go to a hospital where you need more urgent care. And after, you can probably hear it in my voice, I still have this clogged, and my brother's a doctor, and he told me I needed to go see a doctor and get antibiotics for this. So I decided to go, and I have nothing to compare this to. This video is not to, I haven't been to the doctor for 15 years in the United States, so I haven't been there since I was, I think, 15 years old. And the last time I was in a U.S. hospital for myself, I was like 8 years old. So I don't have anything to compare it to, don't know like how the treatment works, and I have even forgotten like cost of everything. But this is about free healthcare here in Brazil. I think it's great. Just expect to spend your whole day, but yeah, they give you the medicine, and it was a generally quick diagnosis. My daughter needed more care earlier this week, so hers actually took, she had to do a blood and urine test and an x-ray because she had pneumonia. And so they recommended, or they prescribed, the doctor prescribed all of the medicine that she needed, and now she is healthy. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. That was my first experience yesterday in the hospital for my own care. So if you guys have any questions that I can answer, or any questions related to healthcare here in Brazil, please feel free to ask them. I have been to the hospital with Sammy. I've been to private doctors with Sammy and Joanna. So I will try and do my best to get those questions answered for you guys. And have a great day.
Caraca, legal. Ele disse que a última vez que ele foi ao médico nos Estados Unidos foi quando ele tinha 15 anos. Então, realmente muita coisa deve ter mudado, por isso que ele não fez muitas comparações aqui. E parece que o único ponto, assim, que digamos que é negativo, que os gringos sempre falam, é a questão do atraso. Tirando isso, não tem nenhuma reclamação. Eu acho que a questão do atraso é o que muitas pessoas falam, né? Tipo, é a única coisa que as pessoas falam assim de negativo quanto ao sistema de saúde público do Brasil. Quando você precisa de ir no UPA, aí você tem que, eu acho, tirar o resto do dia, porque você tem que realmente cuidar da tua saúde. Então tem que tirar o resto daquele dia, você tem que ir para o UPA, com certeza lá vão fazer todo o tratamento e vai demorar algumas horas até terminar todo o tratamento. Então eu acho que nesse dia você não tem que marcar mais nada, é apenas ir pro UPA e descansar, tipo, tirar aquele dia só para cuidar da tua saúde. E é isso, pessoal, espero que tenham gostado do vídeo. Não se esqueçam de deixar o like, se inscrever no canal, ativar o sininho das notificações para receber todos os nossos próximos vídeos e fazer parte dessa incrível família. Até o próximo vídeo, foi!